anybody hear me if I don't use the microphone? I've been known to have a big voice, so I'd rather, because I like to wander and talk, wander and walk while I talk. Thank you. This is my second year with you all. A lot of familiar faces from last year, and I'm greatly honored to be here tonight again. Chief, thank you for the invitation to speak again. I'm glad it worked out with the schedule. Super honored to be here. A little background about myself. I've been a fireman for over 30 years in New Jersey, Bergen County, New Jersey. In 2018, I started the podcast and social media platform for the American Fire Service. I noticed that there was something missing. The storytelling of yesterday, bringing it forward to today, the disconnect between young and old. And I felt that with my experience and insights into the fire service that we could fill this void of storytelling and preserving tradition and culture in the fire service. And that's what we started in 2018. Fast forward, here we are 8 years later. This March will be 8 full years. We have a national presence. I tour around the country speaking about the fire service, volunteer and career. I talk about the ups and the downs. I talk about the honesty. I talk about the things that we need to address if we want to survive as a volunteer organization rooted on Main Street, USA. There are things that we need to do ourselves to make sure that we can thrive. As I travel across the country, I get to see fire companies in all shapes and sizes. When we talk about the fire service in today's times, we talk about it in a blanket statement. And this is maybe for the township and for our elected officials to understand that even in your own commonwealth, you have fire companies that are truly rooted in community. They could be dirt floors, apparatus that are over 50 years old, truly neighbors helping neighbors, coming to one another's aid. That is the true spirit of what the volunteer fire service is all about. But then in the same commonwealth, or maybe 3 zip codes over, you could have a very busy urban department that is well funded. When we talk about the fire service on a national level today, we need to talk about the nuances of it. We need to talk about small town USA, and we also need to talk about big city USA. Here in Maplewood, this is a beautiful community. This is my second year being here. I've gotten to know many of you. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of names I remembered. And a lot of the conversation comes back to this, community. The chief hit on it before. The elected officials hit on it. How important it is to believe in your hometown fire department. Elected officials have to come to rely on the fire department to be able to provide proficient and professional services, whether volunteer or career. The person on the other end of the call looking for help does not care if you get a paycheck or not. And what's funny about that is so often the responder doesn't matter or doesn't care either. The volunteer firefighters love their community. In a time today, we're talking about AI, we're talking about social media, the disconnect from reality, putting our phones down. When you look at society today, everybody walks with their heads down. There's nothing better than watching those videos online of people falling in fountains in the mall because they're on their phone. You know what I'm talking about. They're on their phone and they fall in, or they run into a telephone pole or a light fixture because they're not paying attention. When you look around in small town USA, Main Street, the firehouse, the fire department is rooted as the core root of that community. It's a community center. People want to drive by and see the doors up. People want to see firefighters marching in the parade, polishing and washing that truck. It's a symbol of pride and honor. And people in their community feel good about that. And so when I talk about walking with your heads down, yeah, most of the community does these days, but not our volunteers. Our volunteer firefighters walk with their heads up. They're conscious of the people around them. They are giving back time. They have a love and passion for their neighbor and their community, and that is of the very best. You can't ask for more from anyone else than to volunteer their time to give back like you all do, and you should all be very proud. As I sat here tonight and I listened to the words, had conversations with many of you that carried on from last year, there's this tremendous sense of pride and ownership within your own department. I stopped at the firehouse before I came down here. I'm a fireman. I love going to firehouses and seeing what you do. I know Maplewood added on the two garage bays. I know you have a new aerial scope. And then my friend over here comes over and tells me all about the diamond re-up. There's an incredible sense of pride that he gets bloody knuckles every time he polishes that truck, because he's polishing it every day, because there's a sense of pride and ownership. How much more can you ask of your people than that? Because you know that if the small tasks are being done in-house, if the truck is being washed and polished after every run, the floors are swept, the equipment's checked, and you're going to training, I can count on you as an elected official that when the alarm sounds, you're coming. Because you are responding with your head up. You're looking around, you're taking care of one another. I was standing over here having a conversation. A wonderful gentleman came over and had the most flattering words and basically said, "These gentlemen saved my life." What a moment. Volunteers, your neighbor, somebody that lives next door that took the initiative to learn, to know more, to learn a craft like firefighting or EMS, and then to be able to provide assistance for their neighbor and save their life. What higher calling is there? I would challenge all of you that when you do wear that patch on your sleeve and you do respond through town and you do have an interaction with somebody in the public, embrace it. Embrace your customer, your client, our neighbor, your residents. Embrace them. Show them what you do. And wear that pride with honor and integrity. Because at the end of the day, it is all about community. And that's truly what you have here. This is something really special. Really, really special. As I travel, I asked the chief tonight, I said, "Is there anything you want me to hit on?" And I asked a couple of you tonight. Is there anything you want me to hit on? Anything particular? Can I drive home a point? Nobody really gave me anything of substance. And a lot of places I go and speak, they go, "Hey, can you talk about this? Can you kind of drive this point home? You know, hey, we're having a hard time getting our members out. We're having a hard time with training. We're having a hard time with this." I didn't get any of that with this group. You guys are all dialed in. And it seems like that comes from a really well-run culture. And culture is a tricky thing in the fire service, because as I travel across the country, career or volunteer, there are winning fire companies and there are losing fire companies. It has everything to do with how we treat our people. And it's exciting. I came back this year because I saw a winning culture here last year. I saw a group of people that had pride and ownership in everything that they did. That fuels me to want to come back, to be more of that, to be part of that. And so when I watch that happen, there's a winning culture here. And that is based upon trust and camaraderie. It's based upon doing your job, respecting the badge, respecting the positions and titles, and letting your people work. The funny thing about the volunteer fire service today is everybody likes to complain about the training. It's too much time. It takes us too far away from our family. We don't have time to go to fire school. We don't have time to be an EMS. We don't have time to do this. We have 1,000 excuses why the volunteer fire service might be broken. But then I sit in a room like this and I go, well, we're doing something right here. There are winning fire companies in this country that are thriving. Members are flocking to them. Why? Because they have a culture that allows their people to do what they want to do most, and that's to do their job. And I say job as a volunteer. Fire doesn't care, as you all know. Fire will kill you. Fire will hurt you. And so whether you get a paycheck or not, the same fire they go to in New York City, maybe it's not a 7-story high-rise out 3 windows on arrival, but it could be a 2.5-story wood frame in Staten Island, and it looks identical to the homes here. So our politicians, our community, people have to understand that firefighters go to the same fires here that they go to in New York City, in Philadelphia, and across this country. There's no difference. Fire will kill you. It doesn't matter. And so when I talk about winning cultures, our people, fuel your people to win. I walked in before, somebody said to me, winners win, right? Give your winners everything they need to succeed, because I talked about that last year. And I agree with that 100%. Your department is as best as you can give. So as you give your people more, you give them opportunity, you give them the ability to perfect their craft, they will get better, they will perform better for your community, and you will have a better culture where people want to be a part of it. At the end of the day, there are more opportunities than ever before today for people to be distracted. And so if they're not active in your firehouse, you have to ask yourself why. Why don't people prioritize the firehouse? And in a lot of losing cultures and a lot of losing fire departments, it's because of broken leadership, a terrible culture, and misdirection. Here, it feels like there's direction, there's purpose. As you respond and perform your services daily for your community, there's a sense of pride and ownership that I keep coming back to. That's what fuels the culture. Make the firehouse a priority. If you want to get people in your firehouse, give them the tools to succeed. People want to be a part of a winning team. Nobody ever wants to be on a losing team. I stopped playing beer league softball because we never won. I would wake up every Monday morning, hungover, my legs stuck to the sheets because I was sliding in the game, right? If you play baseball, you know what I'm talking about. My wife's angry at me. And finally, I'm like, why do I keep playing softball on Sundays when I just get in trouble and hurt? I stopped doing it. We were losing. We lost. We never won. Nobody wants to be a part of a losing team. It's exciting to see what you have here. And I'm honored to be able to have the opportunity to speak in front of you today. But everything I'm saying here, you all know. I'm not saying anything different or new. You prioritize the fire service. You prioritize EMS. You allow your people and give your people the tools to succeed and thrive. To see the membership here today wearing their brass, wearing their Class A's, being proud of the uniform. What more can you ask? And I have to tell you, as a politician, or the township committee, or a fire commissioner, or just a resident of this town, I have to tell you that I would feel really good to be in this room and to see the people that have dedicated so much of their time back to their community. It's exciting, and I want to challenge you all to double down on it. Trust in the fire service, trust in what you do, and I promise you the reward is 10 times over. I'm one of the luckiest guys in the fire service. I've carved out this niche with National Fire Radio. I get to travel all over. I've been to Hawaii. I've been across the country speaking, talking, learning, meeting people, creating new relationships and friends. It doesn't get any better than that. And I'm so fortunate for that. And I would challenge you all to believe in it, double down in it, and understand that this can provide so much for you, even just as a volunteer. Because we all know it's much more than volunteer. This isn't the library commission or the planning board or the school board. This is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you never know when you're going to your worst call. And yet we take on the responsibility to be there and to do it. Kudos to all of you for that. And I can tell you that this is a winning fire company. Maplewood Fire and Rescue is a winning fire company. You have a lot going for it, and I promise you, you want to talk about recruitment and retention? This is how you do it right here. This is retention at its best. I always say in the fire service, when we talk about trying to get the next generation in, yes, it's imperative. You know what we have to do before that? We have to keep the people that already came through the door. Focus on retention first. Recruitment will come. When you give your people the tools to thrive and succeed, people will want to be a part of that winning team. They want to win. Your best recruitment tool are your own members out in the community, being proud of the patch they wear and talking to their fellow neighbor or the guy at the deli or the person at the pizza place telling them about Maplewood Fire Rescue. That is the best recruitment campaign you could possibly have for your organization. Keep your people happy, give them the tools they need to succeed, and your recruitment will come. But we have to retain our members, and we have to give them what they need. Make the firehouse a priority again for your people, and people will come. And with that, Chief, thank you very much for the invitation tonight. All of you, I appreciate you all. I'm hanging out. Let's have conversation.